campers. Hey, today we're going to go over a couple of tricks and safety tips about flat towing. I have my 2021 Ford Ranger set up there. I'll show you how my setup is done. I've changed a few things since the last video, and we'll go over those changes. And hopefully these tips and safety tips will help you out down the road. So let's get the camera repositioned and we'll get this thing going. All right, guys, so obviously we're here at my setup. So a couple of things I'd like to go over first with you is number one, when you're hooking up your safety cables, you want to make sure that they're routed underneath the tow bar and then in a X type of pattern. As you can see here, this one over here goes to this safety loop, and then this safety cable goes over to that connection on the base plates. Now the reason why you want to do that is a couple. First of all, if you would happen to have a catastrophic tow bar detachment, if it would become detached from the from your hitch on your coach, that cross pattern, what it's going to do, it's going to act somewhat like a cradle to keep your tow bar and your tow bar receiver stinger from dragging into the ground. And if that would happen, that obviously would be a bad thing. Also, when they're routed under the under your tow bar, they're away from your release handles. So that's another safety factor that you want to consider. Now I know this is a blue ox, and this is what we recommend for that. But like for Roadmasters and a few other, they have channels that your safety cables run through, and obviously that's the way they designed it, and that's the way they want it done, which is very, very good way. But then they also recommend that you cross them right up at the trailer hitch itself. So, and then also, if you can see, I put Velcro straps on my 6-pin connector and my 7-pin connector on the power cord. The reason why I do that is this cord can get a little heavy, and when it starts bouncing, even though they're locked into the safety tabs here, the safety lock tabs, I just don't want this lid from lifting up and then the cord detaching and then dragging on the ground. So that's another safety factor that I put in. And there again, it's cheap and effective. Also, what I've done, I've put these CZC Hitch Stabilizers on, and they're what they do, they eliminate any movement and what we call chucking for not only on the hitch to the drop receiver, but also on your tow bar receiver itself. It just keeps everything stabilized. And just a little tip also, what you want to make sure when you install these hitch stabilizers, that you put the U-bolt and clamp so it is pulling down on your drop hitch and your tow bar. That way it's not pulling up on it when you tighten up, and it's working with gravity, not against it. So that's a couple other things. And then I have these locking pins, receiver locking pins by Towworks. They're O-ringed, and they're also safety clevis pinned, obviously along with the locking cylinder too. And we'll get a little close-up picture of how I have these set up. It's a great locking pin, and it's very effective. And with the O-rings, it does not allow all the road grime and water and all from getting into inside of the pins. Just another little maintenance tip there. So I'm going to reposition the camera and show you how I have our emergency brake safety tether hooked up to actually the frame chassis of the motorhome, not to the trailer hitch, and we'll go over why I did that. So let me reposition the camera and we'll get that going. Okay, so as you can see here, I'll give you a little closer up shot of my Velcro straps on my 7-pin connector, and then we'll go over here and show you on the 6-pin. There again, very inexpensive and very effective. Now, here's my Hitch Stabilizers. Now, if you can see the way it's attached, once the U-bolt clamps down on this bar, what it does, it pulls down on the drop receiver, and then the same way as the on the receiver for the tow bar. There again, you want it to work with gravity, not against it. And also, one thing that I want to kind of touch on quickly is you want to make sure that your tow bar and drop bar is level, okay, or within 3 inches plus or minus from level. And there's a good reason for that, and you can see that safety warning that Blue Ox puts on there. And all the tow bar manufacturers recommend either 3 inches plus or minus from level, or 2 inches. So please read your instructions just to make sure you get that correct. That does a couple of things. Number one, it reduces the wear and tear on your tow bar equipment, your drop receiver and trailer hitch, when it is a nice horizontal plane and it's not up or down. It's engineered to be fairly close to level for your best wear and tear. And then also what that does is, in the case of a hard stop or panic stop situation before your supplemental brake system would happen to take effect, it will mitigate and eliminate what we call drive under. So that's a big factor also. So let's go over how I have my breakaway safety tether hooked up. Like I said earlier, I do not have it attached to the hitch. For any reason, if your hitch would become detached from your motorhome, if your safety tether was hooked up here, guess what? Your safety brake on your supplemental braking system is not going to activate, because it's not going to pull the pin out of the safety breakaway switch. So what I did is I made a short cable and I had bolted it to the frame. Now let's kind of go under here, and I don't know if you can see that. There you go. It's bolted to the frame. So if the trailer hitch would happen to become detached from the motorhome, it's going to ensure that this safety pin is pulled out from the breakaway switch. Now that was not a battery cable. That was a purposely made cable at our fabrication shop. We tested it. It has a 900-pound snap pull tested for both the eyelets and the cable itself. So that's well within most of your breakaway switch pull-out tab force is only, 35 to 42 pounds pull force for that to become detached. So that's what we've done there. And there again, just kind of highlight how we have this hooked up. And then also, not a big deal, but I fold in my mirrors when we're traveling. What that does, it just gives, now there again, it's going to be vehicle and coach specific, but what it does, it just gives a better view of the coach brake lights as well. And so that is my setup. Any questions, comments, please comment, give me a like. Please subscribe if you haven't. And there again, I hope we meet on the road. Safe travels.